Hi, everyone. Good morning. All right. So let's now understand about two operators, which is in and like, right? In operator and like operator. So let's consider if I am firing query wherein designing a query on account. If I would like, if I would fire this query, let's select ID and name. Let's consider the value of industry, rating, annual revenue, phone, pass, ownership, active status. So if I am firing this query on account of, it would going to return everything out of the object, right? So as you can see inside the object, there are 137. So it has written me everyone. Now, now, if I wanted to apply a filter, if I wanted to apply a filter, let's say instead of getting everything out of the object, I wanted particularly to see those records of accounts where the value of industry is banking, where the value of industry is banking. So in that case, I'm going to ask for clause, a filter clause called as where industry, where the value of industry equals to bank. The value of industry is bank. Now, if I would re-execute this, so if I press this export button, now you can see out of 137 records, there are 103 records where the industry value is banking. All right, so that was my single condition. That was my single. I wanted to see all those records account where the value of industry is banking. Now, along with banking, I also wanted to see those records of account where the value of industry, let's say, uh, is education. So I would write down where the value of industry is banking and industry and industry equals to, let's say, education. Education. Now, if I would export this, and or not and it actually should be or, because very obviously industry field couldn't have two values, right? So it should be or. So where the value of industry is banking or the industry is equals to education. Now you have those records. Now you have those records where you can see like the value of industry either is banking or it's education. I wanted to extend this search once again. And now I wanted to have all those values of account where the value of industry is either banking or either it is education or maybe like it is or industry or industry should equals to, let's say, finance, right? So once again, or industry or industry equals to, let's say, chemicals, let's say chemicals, or industry equals to, let's say, agriculture. Now, if I would export this, see, so basically, what I wanted you to understand is what type of query I have formed. Let me copy this and I shall paste it out. I shall paste it out. So this was my query. Let me try to make it more readable. So where the value of industry equals to banking, or industry equals to education, or industry equals to finance, or industry equals to chemicals, or industry equals to agriculture. So industry was essentially a pick list field. You wanted to get the data, of all those account records, but the value of industry is either agriculture, is chemicals, is finance, education, banking, or maybe fuels. Now, instead of writing query like this, where you can see, we are referring, if I would ask you, what are these values and where are these values are coming from? If this is my question, how do you see this banking, education, finance, how they are coming, or they belongs to which field? The answer would be all of them belongs to the same field called as industry. All of them belongs to same field called as industry. So ultimately, when you are looking into particularly the pick list, more precisely, particularly with the pick list, when you wanted to include, multiple options from a pick list, then instead of writing query like this, we can minimize it. Where every time where industry equals to banking, then industry equals to this, again industry equals to industry equals to. So instead of writing query like this, what we can do over here is like where industry in, you can make a use of in operator in. Now have an opening and a closing bracket where industry equals to banking. Instead of or, put up a comma, industry equals to education. Now, industry equals to banking, comma, education, comma, finance, comma, chemicals, comma, agriculture. So we can see now. Now if I would export this, print variables. So in education, I forgot one single inverted. Okay. See, so it is going to give me the same result. But this is the more optimized way to write it. All right. So in operator particularly, we would be using that operator when we wanted to use multiple options of a same field. Listen this. Whenever we want to use multiple options of the same field inside the query. So अभी multiple options वाली field होती कौन सी है? So obviously, very obviously, they are pickless. तो इन ऑपरेटर आप यूज तब करते हो जैसे जैसे इफ आई वुड आस्क यू कि आप मुझे वो सारे मतलब वो सारे फॉर एग्जांपल लेट्स से वी हैव अ पिक लिस्ट जिसमें 10 से 12 ऑप्शंस है सिमिलर टू योर इंडस्ट्री. इफ आई वुड आस्क यू कि आप उसमें से ना मुझे वो सारे रिकॉर्ड्स बताओ जिसमें इस कंसिडर की 6 वैल्यूज है उसमें. तो हम हर बार थोड़ी ना उस तरह से लिखेंगे जैसे हमने पहले लिखा था इसको वेयर industry equals to this and this and this. Every time we'll write down the same statement. Industry equals to this. Industry equals to this. है ना? तो ऐसा नहीं लिखते हैं. अब हम क्या करते हैं? We'll make a group. We'll make a group. ये एक group है. This is a group of all those options what we want. Right? हाँ. अभी because if they are like they are text, तो आप उसको single inverted comma. If they are not text, अगर if they are numericals, you can take it direct. You can take it direct. But more importantly, every two option must always be separated with the comma. Okay? ये तो बड़ा कॉमन सी बात है. This is normal English statement. कि अगर आप दो values separate लिख रहे हो, तो they must always be separated with a comma, isn't it? ठीक है. And instead of writing the name of field, you just write it down once where industry. Make a group of all those values of those that quick list inside a bracket, and then use in. Then use in. Right? I hope this makes sense to you. So that was n. Now the last operator. Last operator is like. Like. So how to use a like operator? Okay. See. Here. So now let's consider select ID name from account where name equals to. Now so I'm copying this name and I'm pasting it over here. Select ID name from the account where name equals to. But this record is getting copied. All right. Yeah, that's good. There's one more record. Try with this one. Try with the second one. Okay. Now see, with this record, let's say I does not know the complete name of this record. Right? I does not know the complete name of this record. So I'm copying only the first and I would pasting it out. See what is going to be happen in this case. You are going to get no result, no data exploited. Isn't it? No data exploited. Does it means we don't have any such thing? No. But the name is Rahat. It's not. We have we have a we have a record. The name is Rahat. Fine. But still when I'm trying to fire a query where I put up a condition like where the name should equal to Rahat, the data is not getting populated. Query is returning you no records. So why this is happening? So this is happening. This is happening because when you put up equals to, when you put up equals to, it would try to make an exact comparison. Exact comparison. That means it would try to find out a record where this value exactly is same. And there is nothing before and after that. So it would try to find out an account record where the name is just Rahat. Where the name is just Rahat. But there is no such record. Actually, we have a record, but that's not just Rahat. It's Rahat Khan. There's Khan which is appended in the last. There is no such record. Right? There's no such record. If I would try with this, if I would try with this. So there is no such record, but the name exactly is Qasim. And there's nothing before and after that. But let's consider, you have a very little knowledge of what you wanted to find. For example, I wanted to see all those records of account, all those records of account, maybe where, maybe where, like Tim is there, Tim is there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is the surname of that. I'm not sure. But I wanted to search them. I wanted to search them. Then we would, instead of giving equals to, we would give, we would make a use of operator like. We would make a use of operator like. So whenever we wanted, we are exactly not sure about the data, we wanted to fetch out every similar possibilities. Like I wanted to fetch all those records where there is a temp, maybe in the beginning, in the middle of the name, or maybe in the last of the name. There is a temp. I wanted to fetch all those possibilities. Then we make a use of like. But then whenever you are using like, if you see, even if I would try to fire this query, it will not export anything, as you can see. Why? So whenever we are using like operator, like must always be backed up with either of two wildcard characters. What are those? Let me try to show you. There are two wildcard characters. Wildcard. So if wildcard is just a symbol, there's a symbol called percentage and underscore. Percentage symbol is usually what is mostly used. Mostly used. I'm going to show you both of them. So see, if I would, instead of firing the query like this, so I would include a percent symbol in the beginning. In the beginning. Okay. In the beginning. If I would use a percent symbol in the beginning, percent means any possible combination, any possibilities. Percent means any possibilities. So what now I'm trying to convince this query, please give me ID and name from the account where you would find name like percent Khan. That means whatever, percent means whatever should be present in the beginning. Whatever should be present in the beginning. But it should always be ended with Khan. I am not interested in whatever is present in the beginning. It should be any possible combination, including zero as well. If there is nothing in the beginning, just Khan is there. That is also allowed to me. So percent means any possible combination, including zero, including null as well. Now see what happens if I would fire this query. Do you see this? Now one record has been fetched. Now one record has been fetched. So what was before that record? Rahat. So that is coming because you have asked for percent. You have asked for percent. Whatever is in present, I'm not interested in that. But in the back, after that, it should be Khan. If I would try with this, I'm not sure where. There's no such record. If I would try with like Qasim, no. Let me try to see some records so that I could expand this examples. Kumar, right? Sharma, Sharma. So whatever should be in the beginning, we allow everything in the beginning. Allow everything in the beginning. But it must have Sharma. See, must have Sharma. And similarly, you can give this, like, you can give this anywhere. So the beginning in the end, the beginning. Now, for example, I wanted to fetch all those records where there is a S, where there is S. Before S, before S, whatever is there, please allow that. Any number of characters, allow that. After S, any number of character is there, just allow them. But it must have S. It must have S somewhere. Somewhere. In the name, it must have S somewhere in the name. Alright? Let me try to show you. See, there are so many records. Like, if I would consider this, in the beginning itself, there is S. What is before S? Nothing. What is before S? Nothing. But that is allowed. Why? Because you have used underscore, percentage. If you would see this test, where is S? This is S. What is before S? TE. What is before S? TE. What is after that? After S, there are so many number of characters. Everything is allowed. So this is what is the purpose of this percent support. Now, if I would replace this, for example, if I would is same with underscore. And let's try to fetch it out. Now, what do you see? What do you see? When I have replaced this with underscore, underscore means particularly this position, just one position. But underscore means, see, there's a big difference between underscore and percent symbol. And this is a best example to understand. All of the result what you can see over here, they are very best to make you understand. In all of these examples, if you would observe one thing, what is the position of character E? What is the position of character E? If I would ask you in this whole string, where do you see E? You're going to answer me, sir, E is present in the second position. Everywhere the E is present in the second position. If I would replace this with percent, and now if I would export this, where is E present? E is present as second. E is present as fourth, right? E is present somewhere around over here. So there is a big difference between using percent and underscore. So when you fire a query with underscore, now I could say that I wanted to see all those account records where in the name of them, specifically this character E should be present as in the second position. In the second position. In the second position, you wanted this to be get E. So that is what is a main difference between underscore and your percent symbol. Okay. So if you wanted that specifically to a particular position, this should be get present. Then you would use underscore. But that's very rare, I'm telling you. That's very rare. Mostly we use like operator. We always use it with percentage. So whenever whenever I'm not sure what to fetch, I probably have so many. Anyways, but whenever we are not sure about data, we use like operator, and we always use a percent symbol. So that was the use of in and like operator. So go with all this theory which is there, which is here, and similarly try with these programs as well. Although I'm showing you the same thing with size of let me take this as well. But you please go with all these programs. There are two benefits with this. I am taking them inside Salesforce Inspector. I'm just firing a query and showing you the result, and we are having a discussion. But these examples, with these examples, the same thing has been implemented with a program. If, for example, if I write an Apex program to find out similar kind of account record where names should be like operator, I demonstrate this with Salesforce Inspector, but the same thing is being given with a program. So this would, if you would solve, when you would practice, and if you would, by the way, understand the like operator with this program, there would be two things. There are two things of interest would happen. First, you would understand how to use a like operator. वो तो चलो हमें Salesforce Inspector से भी समझ में आ जाएगा. But then, if you would execute this program, don't you think the programming skills would also be getting improved day by day, gradually, by program, isn't it? That's why I have given you one program for almost every exam. Though I am explaining you the same thing with Salesforce Inspector, but you solve this way as well. I'm not saying that don't solve with this. No, no. I wanted you to become, and I wanted you to aware of Salesforce Inspector as well. At the same time, I wanted you to develop your programming skills. And that is why I'm telling you कि यहाँ जितने भी programs हैं ना एक एक बार उसको implement करेंगे. See, programming, there's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to learn programming unless you have that much of practice. There is no shortcut. मतलब काफी वक्त लगता है मुझे भी लगा है हर किसी को लगता है get to get your hands on this skill would require certain amount of time invest in your research. So इसका कोई shortcut नहीं है. So for almost for every examples I have taken few programs or maybe I have given you few of the assignments over. Don't skip this part because see if you would skip and you would make yourself jump to the next thing, you would never feel confident that I know that. And there is no benefit, there's no benefit in fooling ourselves. There's no benefit in studying. If you are fooling yourself, you're actually discouraging you. And there is no benefit, right? I never ask you, have you completed your assignment and everything? I never ask you. This is a professional course. This is not a school. This is not a college where you are having, I would have to award you with some marks. And so you have a tension, अरे अपने को submit करना है, otherwise my marks are going to be get. No, 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 it's not like that. It's very simple. You are taking this course because you wanted to enter into this industry. You wanted to make Salesforce as your career in IT. Now you tell me one thing. If you would not do these assignments, are you doing a right thing? Are you doing a right thing? No. And you almost have 24 hours from this class to the next class. And sometimes even beyond that, अगर मैं छुट्टी announce कर देता हूँ, तो आपके पास भरपूर समय रहता है. Try to go with every exam. Try to go with every exam. That could only help you. दूसरा कोई तरीका नहीं, कोई भी तरीका नहीं. There is no shortcut. There is no shortcut to get this. So try to solve every example, every single example what has been given, and even beyond that, even beyond. ठीक है, चल. So that was first part of SQL. Let me now start with the second. And second part is relationship queries. Now see, so far we were getting data just from one object. Like you are getting data from account. Now, for example, if I would say you that, see, if you would go to example, all right. So, yeah. So this is an account record, Grand Hotels and Resort. Now, if you would see, these are the details of that account record. And this account record also have some related contacts to you, like Tim Bar, John Bond. These are some related contacts to this account. There are a few of the related opportunities as well as cases. Now, for example, if my query, I'm having a use case wherein I wanted to fetch an account record along with all related contacts or opportunities or cases, or multiple of them, account along with cases along opportunity along contacts. That means I wanted to get the data of parent along with child. Parent along with child. Like for example, I wanted to fetch hiring manager along with positions. I wanted to fetch position along with candidate. So whenever this is your requirement, that along with the parent, you wanted to fetch the data of childs as well. So if I would say you try to fetch out all account and contact record, all account and related contact, all account and related contact. सो व्हाट अभी अभी तक जितना नॉलेज हमने गेन किया उसके बेसिस पर अगर हम ये एनालिसिस करें कि जिसमें हमसे कहा जा रहा है भाई हमें अकाउंट रिकॉर्ड के साथ उसके रिलेटेड कॉन्टैक्ट भी फेच करना है, और अभी तक जितना नॉलेज हमको है अगर हम उस बेसिस पे ये एनालिसिस करें कि हमें अकाउंट से और कॉन्टैक्ट दोनों से रिकॉर्ड्स को फेच करना है, तो वी वुड ऑब्वियसली एंड अप विद दिस कंक्लूजन दैट हमको दो क्वेरी फार्स करनी। बिकॉज देखिए आप एसक्यूएल में एक ही ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम दे सकते हो यहाँ पे, है ना। जैसे आपने दिया सिलेक्ट आईडी एंड नेम फ्रॉम द अकाउंट, फ्रॉम द अकाउंट आप, तो ठीक है ये क्वेरी फायर हो जाएगा। बट अगर आप अकाउंट और इसके साथ में ऐसा कॉमा करके कुछ सोच रहे हैं कि अगर मैं इसके साथ में कॉन्टैक्ट दे दूं फिर शायद वो फायर करूं, या आपको एरर देगा, बिकॉज यहाँ पे हमेशा एक ही नाम है ना, वन ऑब्जेक्ट। तो अगर हम इस यूज केस को पढ़ रहे हैं कि दैट वी वांटेड टू फेच all of the account records along with the related contacts, that means all of the parent, along with the parent all of the related childs as well, so we could end up with this assumption कि हाँ हो सकता है यार हमको फिर दो क्वेरीज लगनी है। मतलब एक क्वेरी लगेगी पेरेंट के लिए, एक और क्वेरी लगेगी चाइल्ड के लिए। तो फिर अगर तीन ऑब्जेक्ट है मान के चलिए, अकाउंट, अकाउंट के साथ कॉन्टैक्ट, उसके साथ अपॉर्चुनिटी, तीन क्वेरी लगेगी। अगर अकाउंट के साथ कॉन्टैक्ट है, अपॉर्चुनिटी है, केसेस है, तो चार क्वेरीज लगेगी। केसेस के साथ सॉल्यूशन है, पांच क्वेरी लगेगी। समझ रहे हैं आप इस चीज को? अगर इफ यू वुड सी टू दिस लाइक बेस्ड ऑन व्हाट वी नो राइट नाउ, फिर हम ये, बस हम ये समझते हैं कि एसक्यूएल, और ये सही भी है इनफैक्ट, ऐसा नहीं है कि गलत है assumption, ये बिल्कुल सही है कि एसक्यूएल दे आर यूज्ड ओनली फॉर वन। Whenever you are writing a query, the query could have only one object. Query could be fired only on one object. ये बिल्कुल सही है। आप एसक्यूएल क्वेरी में सिर्फ एक ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम दे सकते हैं, एसक्यूएल क्वेरी में सिर्फ एक ही ऑब्जेक्ट का नाम दे सकते हैं। तो उस हिसाब से फिर अगर एक, फिर अगर मुझे पांच ऑब्जेक्ट से सर्च कर डेटा फाइंड आउट करना है, तो हम ऑब्वियसली गोइंग टू रिक्वायर फाइव सेपरेट इंडिविजुअल क्वेरीज फॉर दैट। ठीक है, चलिए, तो ये अगर, अब ध्यान से सुनो, ये अगर इंडिविजुअल ऑब्जेक्ट्स की बात हो रही हो तो अलग चीज है। अगर मैं आपसे कहता हूं कि पांच इंडिविजुअल ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं, ध्यान से सुनिए, जिनके बीच में आपस में कोई संबंध नहीं, देयर इज नो रिलेशनशिप्स इन बिटवीन देम, if the object seems to be the distinguished object and there is no relationship between them, अलग अलग ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं उसमें आपस में कोई रिलेशन, कोई रिश्ता नहीं है, तो फिर ये बिल्कुल ऑब्वियस है कि यू विल हैव टू गो विद इंडिविजुअल। जैसे मैं आपसे कहता हूं कि अकाउंट हायरिंग मैनेजर, अकाउंट का और हायरिंग मैनेजर का डेटा निकालो। नाउ यू ऑल्सो नो दिस कि देखिए अकाउंट और हायरिंग मैनेजर में कोई रिलेशनशिप तो है नहीं। अगर आप नहीं भी जानते हो, ये बात नहीं है, यू कैन डेफिनेटली गो टू द स्कीमा बिल्डर, है ना। सबसे इजीएस्ट वे होता है ये आइडेंटिफाई करने का कि रिलेशनशिप है दो ऑब्जेक्ट्स में या नहीं है। द मोस्ट इजीएस्ट एंड द मोस्ट कन्वीनियंट वे इज टू गो विद द स्कीमा बिल्डर। ठीक है, स्कीमा, दिस इज द मोस्ट कन्वीनियंट, and you can bring those two objects, you can bring those two objects, for example मैं कह रहा हूँ भैया आपको अकाउंट और हायरिंग मैनेजर का डेटा फेच करना है, so the most convenient way is to plot them, is to bring them, not plot, is to bring them onto canvas. Now do you see these are the two distinguished objects, these are two distinguished objects and there is no such relationship, there is no intercommunication between them। हाँ, अगर इस केस में, इस सूरत में अगर मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ भैया आपको अकाउंट का डेटा और साथ ही साथ हायरिंग मैनेजर का डेटा फेच करना है, then you obviously would going to require two separate queries. Why? Because there is no relationship, there is no relationship between them। यहाँ पे कोई दूसरा उपाय नहीं, ठीक है, यहाँ पे कोई दूसरा उपाय नहीं है, there is no another way apart from two separate queries, one on the hiring manager, another one on the account। लेकिन अगर इसी सीन को हम थोड़ा सा अलग करते, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंस्टेड ऑफ हायरिंग मैनेजर, I would say to you like आप contact, account and contact का data fetch करो. Now because there is a relationship, वो it's a lookup, master detail, चाहे कुछ भी रहे उसमें मत पढ़ो आप. There is a relationship. There is a relationship. Then तरीका थोड़ा सा बदल जाता है. So when you see that the objects are connected with each other, when you see that there is a relationship, so when do you see whenever you see this that the objects they are having certain mappings in between, तब हम relationship queries को use करते हैं. Then we are going to make a use of relationship queries. So relationship queries हम तब fire करते हैं. The most important reason of firing or designing a relationship query, that there are there would be, I can say there would be two reasons for that. पहली बात, your intention is to fetch data from multiple objects. You wanted to fetch data from multiple objects. And the most important point over here, these multiple objects are interrelated to each other. Now, if in a single line, if I wanted to summarize this, I would say, whenever I wanted to get the data from multiple interrelated objects, whenever I wanted to get the data, I wanted to get the records from multiple objects. जब भी हमारा जो इंटेंशन है, हमारा मकसद जो है वो है कि हम मल्टीपल ऑब्जेक्ट से, एक से ज्यादा ऑब्जेक्ट से रिकॉर्ड्स डेटा को फेच करें, और ये वो ऑब्जेक्ट्स हों, दोज ऑब्जेक्ट्स हु आर इंटर रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर, दे हैव अ रिलेशनशिप मैप विद ईच अदर. इसमें की रिलेशनशिप मैपिंग हो ही है क्योंकि आपस में रिलेटेड है, चाइल्ड, पेरेंट, चाइल्ड, व्हाटएवर, बट दे एटलीस्ट हैव अ रिलेशनशिप, लुकअप, मास्टर डिटेल, चाहे कोई भी हो. तो whenever this is a case where you wanted to get the data from multiple objects, multiple interrelated objects, then we go with relationship queries. Then we go with relationship queries. ठीक है? Then we go with relationship. आज ये पूरा theory समझ लो. By tomorrow I'm going to start with this. Yes, tomorrow you have a class. Tomorrow is Saturday, but I know you have a class. Probably on Sunday you're going to have a leave. At least on Saturday. Yes, you have a class. You have a class. Anyways, so यहाँ पर हम रिलेशनशिप क्वेरी यूज करेंगे. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now, अभी ध्यान से सुनो. रिलेशनशिप क्वेरीज में दो सिनेरियो. अच्छा, अभी ये आपके सामने जो डायग्राम है, कॉन्टेक्ट और अकाउंट, इसको देखते हुए मुझे बताओ यहाँ पेरेंट कौन है और चाइल्ड कौन है. कौन सा ऑब्जेक्ट यहाँ पेरेंट है और कौन सा ऑब्जेक्ट यहाँ पे चाइल्ड. I guess you have this. You can yourself. Yes, you have this command.
अकाउंट पेरेंट है,
अकाउंट
चाइल्ड.
अकाउंट पेरेंट है और कॉन्टेक्ट चाइल्ड है. ये कैसे पता चला आपको? इस डायग्राम को देखते हुए बताओ. इस डायग्राम को देखते हुए बताओ. हाँ, ये तो आपने थ्योरी में पढ़ा है, काफी बार पढ़ा है, लेकिन इस डायग्राम को देखते हुए ये कैसे पता चला कि अकाउंट पेरेंट है और कॉन्टेक्ट चाइल्ड है? कैसे पता चला
जो
भाई?
लाइन है
जी.
उसका सिंगल एंड अकाउंट का, और जो तीन निकले हुए हैं, मतलब सॉरी मल्टीपल लाइंस जहाँ से निकले हुए हैं, वो पता चलता है कि वो चाइल्ड होता है करके.
ये भी सही है. सही है. और कुछ बात, और कोई कुछ शेयर करना चाहता है? हाँ, मतलब जो आपने देखा, दैट व्हाट यू ऑब्जर्व्ड इज वेरी परफेक्ट थिंग. ऐसा नहीं है आप गलत हो. आई वाज एक्सपेक्टिंग समथिंग एल्स ओवर हियर. हाँ, कोई कुछ पॉइंट है जो इसमें कोई कुछ और इंक्लूड करना चाहता है?
वन पेरेंट है, मल्टीपल चाइल्ड.
हाँ, पहले आपका नाम बताओ, बिकॉज आई कैन सी गैलेक्सी ऑन मैक्स.
प्रेरणा.
Brenda, please rename yourself. Otherwise, I,
यस
I will start. I will start calling you Galaxy.
सॉरी सर.
No, no, so there's nothing to say sorry. Yes, guys, one too many. आप कैसे भूल रहे हैं इस चीज को? One too many. There's always what is the relationship between parent and child? One to many. It's always one to many. Whether it's a lookup, whether it's your master detail. There's always one to many relationship. One is always parent, multiple many is child. So because we see a one to many relationship, one is always going to be the parent, many, multiple is always going to be child. That's fine. ठीक है, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. हाँ, अब मैं दो सिनेरियोस की बात कर रहा हूँ कि रिलेशनशिप क्वेरीज दो तरह की पढ़नी है. कल से अब जब हम इसको स्टार्ट करेंगे तो पहला, इफ यू वांटेड टू फेच parent along with child, ठीक है. इफ यू वांटेड टू फेच parent along with child, दैट मीन योर फ्लो वुड बी टॉप टू बॉटम. पर में अगर आप पेरेंट को देखते हैं, उसके नीचे में अगर आप चाइल्ड्स को देखते हैं, ट्राई टू ड्रॉ समथिंग, ट्राई टू ड्रॉ सम. सो लेट्स कंसिडर दैट, ऐसा मान के चलिए, आप थोड़ा सा थोड़ी देर के माउस लेने दो यार. ऑलराइट. सो लेट्स कंसिडर फॉर अ टाइम दैट हमारे पास में एक अकाउंट रिकॉर्ड है. दिस इज वन अकाउंट रिकॉर्ड, ठीक है. एंड नाउ दिस अकाउंट इज रिलेटेड विद थ्री कॉन्टैक्ट्स. ऐसा मान के चलो, दिस अकाउंट इज रिलेटेड विद थ्री कॉन्टैक्ट्स, ठीक है. एक अकाउंट रिकॉर्ड है जिसके साथ तीन कॉन्टैक्ट्स रिलेटेड. So if you wanted to fetch, if you wanted to fetch the things from like this, if your direction is top to bottom, that means you are trying to fetch something parent to child. You are fetching parent along with child. You are fetching parent along with child. तो अगर आप ऐसा, ये आपकी डायरेक्शन है टॉप टू बॉटम, तो इसमें जो रिजल्ट मिलेगा आपको, इसमें जो रिजल्ट मिलेगा वो क्या मिलेगा? इसमें रिजल्ट मिलेगा आपको वन अकाउंट रिकॉर्ड पेरेंट वाला, है ना, एंड थ्री कॉन्टैक्ट, थ्री कॉन्टैक्ट्स, बराबर है. क्योंकि हम क्या फेच कर रहे हैं? पेरेंट अलोंग विद चाइल्ड, पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड, पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड. तो हमारा जो रिजल्टेंट क्वेरी होगा, जो भी क्वेरी होगा, वो तो हम देखने वाले हैं, बट उसका आउटकम हम अभी से प्रेडिक्ट कर सकते हैं. So if I am fetching it from top to bottom, if I'm asking my query to give me the details of parent along with child, so in that case, in this case, not in that, in this case, the query is going to return me one account, यानी ये वाला, along with all three childs, यानी तीन कॉन्टैक्ट. और इसके आई मीन ये हो गया पहला डायरेक्शन, ठीक है. अब दूसरा, अगर इफ आई एम फेचिंग इट फ्रॉम बॉटम टॉप, फॉर एग्जांपल सी वन, तो अब मैं कॉन्टैक्ट के साथ अकाउंट, मतलब चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट अगर मैं करूं, चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट, तो फिर मुझे क्या मिलेगा? वन कॉन्टैक्ट और उसके साथ उसका एसोसिएटेड पेरेंट, मतलब वन अकाउंट, ऐसे. तो ये दो अलग अलग सिनेरियोस हैं. व्हेन यू आर फेचिंग पेरेंट अलोंग विद चाइल्ड इज योर फर्स्ट सिनेरियो. पहला सिनेरियो ये रहेगा, फर्स्ट वन, व्हेन यू आर फेचिंग पेरेंट along with child. And second scenario रहेगा when you are fetching child along with parent. There would be two different scenarios in both of the cases. Relationship query is of different type. There are two different forms of this. When you are trying to fetch parent along with child, there is a separate form of query, and vice versa. When you are trying to fetch child along with parent, there is another form of query is going to be used. ये दो सिनेरियोस पे हम काम करेंगे. अब इसमें फिर दो और पार्टीशंस बन जाते हैं. पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड वुड बी माय फर्स्ट टाइप, पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड. दूसरा टाइप है चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट फेच करना. तो पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड फॉर स्टैंडर्ड, अगर स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं तो, कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट हैं तो दूसरा फॉर्म. पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड ये दोनों, लेकिन एक स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए अलग है और कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट. उसी तरह से दूसरा टाइप है चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट, अगर ऑब्जेक्ट आपके स्टैंडर्ड है और अगर ऑब्जेक्ट आपके कस्टम. तो इस तरह से चार फॉर्म होते हैं, बट चार नहीं होते, ये बेसिकली दो ही है. उसके इंटरनल दो बाइफर्केशन होते हैं, स्टैंडर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट और कस्टम ऑब्जेक्ट. इसमें भी चाइल्ड पर्टिकुलरली अगर स्टैंडर्ड है या चाइल्ड ऑब्जेक्ट कस्टम, वो हम देख लेंगे कल। मेनली दो ही तरह की क्वेरीज होती हैं, पेरेंट टू चाइल्ड फेच करना है या चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट फेच करना है, टॉप टू बॉटम आना है या बॉटम टू टॉप ट्रेवर्स करना है। तो आपकी ट्रेवर्सिंग की डायरेक्शन क्या है, बेस्ड ऑन दैट दो फॉर्म की क्वेरीज होती है, दो तरह की क्वेरीज होती है, चाइल्ड टू पेरेंट, पेरेंट। So tomorrow morning we are going to start with relationship queries. I guess this I have already explained. So I would be explaining directly from parent to child में start कर, इसमें first type और हो सके तो second type. That's all for today. ठीक है. Any questions? Anything to ask?